大家好，欢迎收看本期一路有你的节目。今天呢，我们请到了一位特别的嘉宾，他是沃德3区的社区领导人，同时也是龙舟节组委会主席。10多年来，他一直致力于复兴和推动卡尔加里龙舟节，把这个源自中华文化的传统活动发展成了全城期待的多元化文化盛会。如今，他决定参加市议员选举，把这份对社区的热情和责任带到更大的舞台。今天就让我们一起走进他，听听他的故事。同时呢，我们今天非常荣幸有请到了卡尔加里大学历史系的教授 David Wright 作为我们本期活动的翻译人员。您好，您可以跟大家介绍一下您自己吗？然后您是如何走向公共服务和政治道路的？
To start off, could you give us some quick introduction about yourself? How did you first get into public service and politics?
Hi, ni hao. My name is Danny Ng. I'm running for council, but a bit about myself. I'm a Calgarian, born in Canada, have lived in Ward 3 for the last 31 years. And I've always volunteered in the community, been volunteering in the community for the last 25 years. And some of the things that I've done in the community is, one is help the Chinatown by creating a Chinatown business improvement area, one, and then also helping revive the Calgary Dragon Boat Society. How I got into politics, I think it came with the territory. When I was the first chair for the Calgary Dragon, or for the Calgary business improvement area, and dealing with the government, the city, and the businesses and the community. That's kind of where I got my start in politics.
谢谢。我知道您是从2010年开始就推动和复兴卡尔加里龙舟节的活动。那么当初是什么契机让您投入到这件事情呢？
You've been involved in reviving and promoting the Calgary Dragon Boat Festival since 2010. What was the particular event or development or moment that made you want to get involved in this?
So 2008 or 2007, I was asked to help be involved in the Dragon Boat from a community point of view and to basically help revive it. Now, that's the first beginning of it. And well, I guess what motivated me to help was my experience in the community, volunteering, and really it's because it's a Chinese tradition, and I felt that because I was Chinese, I needed to also help in reviving it because it's such a important part of our culture or roots. And so that's how I got started. And it was after the steering committee had established all of the governance and documentation. It was the last step was to who was going to be the chair of the Calgary Dragon Boat Society. And everyone in the room, about 8 of us that were on the steering committee, no one answered. No one said anything. Because the facilitator says, okay, who is going to be the chair? We need someone from the steering committee. And no one said anything. So at that moment, that was when I thought, well, I think, yeah, I can do it. So I put up my hand and I said, I can do it, but on one condition. We need 2 co-chairs. And the 2 co-chairs, one is representing the sport and then one from the community. Because I didn't have any experience in Dragon Boat sport, but I had experience in the community. So that's what formed, and that's what happened and how I started.
用中国的古话来说，就是万事开头难。那龙舟节在卡尔加里已经有很长的历史了，您觉得它对整个城市和社区的意义是什么呢？
To use a phrase in Chinese, you are the indispensable man in getting this done. The Dragon Boat Festival now means a lot to Calgary, and it means a lot to the Chinese community in Calgary, of course. But what do you think it means to the city writ large, beyond the Chinese community?
So I think what it means is now that Dragon Boat has become the premier water sport in Calgary, and as a festival, it means community. It means teamwork. Those are the two main things that bring people together. At the festival, we have a marketplace of 65 vendors last year, 18 food trucks, kids zone, beer gardens, a multicultural stage for entertainment, and a very good system for racing. And the setup that we have is the basic fundamentals for a great festival, and this is what brings people together. One of the biggest things, I think, what the meaning of Dragon Boat for the community is, for example, a nonprofit organization called Kids Cancer Society. They have not just only used Dragon Boat sport as physical activity, but they've taken it to the next level. That next level that they've taken it to is teamwork and support. So what they do is at Kids Cancer, when they put in a team, they invite the parents of the kids that are going through terminal illness. And so when that happens, and why they do that is because they want to give the parents a break from the day-to-day issues and, problems of taking care of their kids when, they're terminal. And I tell you, when you see the parents and you see all the other paddlers, when they get off their boat, they're all smiles and happy and, just amazing feeling and energy that you get from the community when they come off the boats.
When you first started doing this in 2010, did you ever encounter some initial skepticism? Did you have some convincing to do? That's part A. Part B is, was there ever a development when community leaders, the penny dropped for them and they saw that, oh, wow, this really is a big deal and it can work?
So at the very beginning, there was, because the community, what happened in the past, why that organization, first organization that brought in Dragon Boat in Calgary in 1992, why the permit was pulled was because they became a profit-orientated type of organization and started cutting out the neighbors and the Chinese community. So they weren't, they were just more profit-orientated. So the city said, no way, that's not good. So let's stop it and let's start reviving. So that's when I came in, right? And so one of the biggest things that I had to do is work with the community at large. So first it was getting the paddlers, the paddling community, the Dragon Boat community, the athletes, the people that love the sport itself. So we got them going. So the very first, in 2010 when we launched, we had a one-day regatta and only 20 teams and no festival, no nothing, just racing. It was one day. We did have some Chinese lions, but that was it. And maybe a couple of community leaders that came out, but not many. And so through the years, there was little participation, but as we started going and as we started year after year seeing more of a festival-like feeling, bringing in the Chinese community through Chinese lions and more performances from performers in Chinatown and across other cultures. We had Arabian, we had Italian, Vietnamese. So we bring all kinds of entertainment onto the stage. So as the years progressed, and the Chinese community, the leaders began to take notice, and they started to come in, and really, that's when I think they felt, wow, this is really back.
正如您所说，其实现在的龙舟节呢，已经不只是华人的传统节日了，也吸引了很多不同族裔的人员的参加。那么您觉得在组织龙舟节的这个过往的经历当中，对您成为社区领导人有怎样的帮助呢？
The Dragon Boat Festival is based in Chinese tradition, obviously. But it now is more than that. It's part of the general summertime multicultural festivals in Calgary. What did you do to make it that way?
What I did was make sure that we had all the elements, and those elements for a good festival are, a marketplace, food trucks, kids zone, beer gardens, all the amenities, and the entertainment. And the entertainment is very crucial in that we always look for local performers from any culture, any ethnic background. And we always invite them to come and participate. Through all of that, also we invite teams and promote the aspect of teamwork. And by saying teamwork, I mean, for a big company, corporations such as our title sponsor today is Sinopec. What we've always told them and what I've always promoted with them is if you have a good team that works together, that is happy, then you will produce and better profits or, better services for your customer. And that's one of the philosophies I think that we can carry into anything, and especially into council or into the city, right? Because, if we don't work as a team, we'll never cross that finish line.
您曾担任港家商会的理事，并且作为中国中山市的商业代表，在促进中加贸易商贸的方面有很多的经验。那如果您当选市议员，您觉得在哪些方面可以帮助卡尔加里经济发展呢？
You previously served as a member of the Hong Kong Canada Business Association and also as a business representative for Zhongshan, China, and you've got plenty of experience in fostering trade between Canada and China. If you were elected as a city councillor, in what ways do you think your experience and your familiarity with organization could help boost Calgary's economy?
Well, from that experience, one is when you have relationships with other companies or businesses from other locations, they may have services or they may have products that we can use in Canada or in Calgary, and vice versa. We have products and services that we can sell to overseas as well. So it's a bilateral trade type of aspect that can help the economy overall in Calgary and overseas, anywhere. I think that would be the best thing. I mean, having been a member of the Hong Kong Business Association, Hong Kong Canada Business Association, and going to the forums and meeting many people over the years, you get to see a lot of services and businesses and what they do, and then you can learn from that and bring that experience back home and apply it.
那在您看来，沃德3区目前最需要解决的问题是什么？并且，如果当您当选之后，在卡尔加里的市政议会上，您最希望推动的议题是什么呢？
Looking specifically at Ward 3 now, what do you see as the most urgent issue that we're presently facing in Calgary? And if elected, what would be the priority that you would want to tackle? If you're elected, what would be the first issue you'd want to prioritize in Calgary on the City Council?
So overall, in the city of Calgary, what I'm hearing is infrastructure, roads, traffic is number one. Second is crime and the safety aspect. And third is homelessness and affordability in housing. Those are the top three that I've heard that for top issues for Calgary as overall. But in Ward 3, when you get down to the specifics, it's the basics. And those basics are the roads, clearing of snow, and especially transit. I've heard many stories from residents in Ward 3 that the transit is either doesn't come early enough, or it's packed when you know there's too many people, and the people that do are waiting for the bus early in the morning. In the winter, sometimes the bus shows up and it's too full to put any more people in, and they have to stand there again to wait for another bus. So that is a big issue. So that's one of the things I think that needs to be addressed immediately. And, you know, if I get into office, that's one of the things that I will start working on.
I think there are a lot of people who would agree with you.
Yeah, especially up in the north there.
都是一些解决民生、解决大家一些生活中的主要问题的一些方案。那么，作为华裔政治人物，您是怎样看待华人社区在政治参与上的现状？还有哪些可以改进的地方呢？
As a Chinese Canadian politician, what do you see as the current state of political participation within the Chinese community? There are other communities in Calgary that have a greater rate of political participation than the Chinese community does. What do you think needs improvement and change?
Well, one is, I think the Chinese community needs to understand that voting is very important. For example, my grandfather, when he came in 1914, they weren't even recognized. They weren't and then 1923, there was an exclusion act that was going on for 24 years. And after that was repealed, it was only then that my grandfather became a Canadian citizen and was really able to vote. I mean, imagine you come to a country and you're not a Canadian. You're considered a foreigner and you shouldn't even belong here. And that's how it was, the feeling was that there was so much discrimination and racism. So I think that's one of the biggest things that when you come to Canada, you have that right to vote, and everyone should act on that. And that right you don't have in many countries around the world, right? And that freedom of expression that you want. So I think in the Chinese community, one is to educate. This is important. Second is to get out and vote. Okay? On October 20th, you have to get out and vote.
那如果有年轻一代的华裔想走上公共服务的道路，您会给他们什么建议呢？
For younger Chinese Canadians in Calgary who might consider pursuing a career or a period of service in public service, what advice or encouragement would you give them?
Volunteer. It doesn't matter what, but I think if you, let's say, for example, volunteer in an organization in Chinatown, from volunteering, that, for example, myself, I started volunteering. I asked my dad said, hey, you got to go volunteer for our Chinese association because we're members. Your grandfather was, I am, so you are. And that's the Shawnee Benevolent Association. So I started volunteering there. And from there, and I kept going. And I saw, that's where I learned how to talk to people. And build relationships with the city and learn all the nuances of how a community works, right? Because one thing in the community, volunteers don't get paid. Okay, volunteers don't get paid. They are passionate about of a certain cause or a certain thing in an organization that attracts them. So in my case, it was Dragon Boat, and Dragon Boat. Wow, it was a very significant and piece that shows my roots, right? Even though it's 2,000 years old of history and things like that. I kind of grew up with that, so I volunteered in it, and here I am today. I made it happen or helped make it happen, right? And it's through teamwork and volunteering. So I think that's what the youth have to do, volunteer.
感谢丹尼的建议。那么我们知道大选之日即将到来哈，那您最想传达的一句话是什么呢
？If you could share one key message with voters, not possible participants in public affairs now, but to voters, what would that key message be?
Exercise your right to vote. Go out and vote. That's the only way to improve the transit, improve the roadways, make housing affordability, keeping green space. Those are the things that, you need. If you want fixed, you have to voice or have to vote. And, if you vote for me, I will represent you. I'll be your voice in council because that's my job. It's to facilitate and help the community. That's why I'm running for council. That's what I want to do, is to serve you and represent you and fix all these problems.
感谢。那么最后一个问题呢，是一个比较轻松的问题，就是当您如果真的是参加龙舟节的比赛，下水参赛的话，您是想当鼓手呢，还是想当划手呢
？One last question in a lighthearted vein. If you were yourself to compete in a dragon boat race, would you rather be the drummer or a paddler?
I think I'd be the drummer.
Why?
Why? Well, I think given my, what I like to do and I think being the drummer is to set the pace for the team to work together and to cross that finish line and to accomplish that goal of, getting across and winning. So that's, I think, what I would do.
更像一位领导人。
Yeah, drummer is a leader. A leader is a drummer.
Yes. 谢谢两位，谢谢丹尼，谢谢 David。通过龙舟节，丹尼让更多的人看到了多元化的文化的力量。通过政治参与，他让更多声音被听见。无论是作为社区的组织者，还是未来可能的市议员，他始终坚持着一份对社会、对城市的责任。谢谢今天的分享，同时呢，也祝愿他在未来的道路上一路顺利。我们下期节目见。
Paddles up!
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.